Hey guys, and welcome back to Fringe Friday. I am Carmen, and today we are watching season 4, episode 8 of Fringe. What did we have last week? Eugene, I think, right? And we had very little Peter, very little Walter, and it was definitely more of like an Olivia and Lincoln focused episode. Oh my gosh. I'm bearing the lead. We also had, I just remembered, we also had the revelation that Nina, I took in Olivia and her sister Sharp, has betrayed Olivia and has been at least a part of, if not orchestrating, her secretly still being a test subject being experimented on with Cortexiphan. So that was very disappointing. I was hopeful that this different Nina I would, I don't know. Like, I like our original Nina, but it took me a long time to get there through many, mazes and layers of distrust. This one, I immediately was like, okay, I think that we're gonna like her. Like, she adopted Olivia and her sister, essentially, and raised them. Like, she seems cool. And here comes the mazes and levels of distrust. Anyway, Peter is also trying to work out a way to get back to his timeline. At least that's his working theory. I don't know if he's gonna go back to another timeline, if he's gonna fix this timeline, like how it's gonna play out, but really the only way I can find that out is by pressing play, so I'm gonna do that now. We're starting off with Peter. This is a good sign.
Walter?
Waffle machine isn't working properly, Peter, so instead...
You're talking to me.
Oh, he's having a dream, isn't he?
Good morning. I thought you were making waffles.
The waffle iron is broken.
Oh, but you were so looking forward to them.
This is fine.
I'll get this infernal machine working. Then we can have waffles every day. I just need to adjust.
Oh. What did that dream tell him? He needs Walter for the machine to work, so he thinks he can get back using the machine.
Thank you, Astrid.
Hello, Walter. I have to talk to you about the machine. I have tried to respect your boundaries. I have stayed away, Walter. But I've got to get home now. And you're the only person who can help me do that.
Oh.
The water was still running in the sink. She must have come to her decision while she was washing the dishes.
Is he talking about Elizabeth?
I know almost immediately, even before I found the body.
No, Walter, I can't.
Car's engine was still running.
Walter, I need you to not do this right now.
There was no note. There didn't need to be. I should have mourned with her, but instead I let her grieve alone so that I could focus on finding a way to the alternate universe to save someone else's child.
Does that mean he's not
My
gonna...
actions caused the death of my wife. Unspeakable damage to two universes. All because I tried to help another Peter.
So he's trying to not help this one? But, you not to... Walter?
I may be the only man that can help you, but I'm also the only man that cannot.
He's gonna go to World B. Walternate? Right?
I need to ask you a favor. Mind if I come in?
It's just a small favor. I just need to go to the other universe, like World B, just real quick. Just pop in.
Walternet is their Secretary of Defense. How are you going to get to him at the DOD?
Lincoln?
Him.
Me.
You're how I'm going to get into the DOD. On the other side, Fringe Division, reports directly to the Secretary of Defense. Their lead agent?
Lincoln. Yep.
Yeah, that could work.
I think it will work. All I need is a way to get over to the other side.
I'm sorry, what are we...
Lincoln's like, is he gonna have to dress up as the other Lincoln?
I've been thinking about crossing over myself. doing a little recon.
What do you even need Walter's device for when you can just cross back and forth anytime by yourself?
When I can what?
She doesn't know. Yeah, because she hasn't activated in this world.
Look, I understand that you guys are dealing with real and present dangers from the other side, but if we go over there and you get busted, there's no way that Walternet's not going to think that I'm involved. I'm going to lose the best chance that I have to get back to my timeline.
Of course. Getting you home is a priority for us as well. So, right now, this is about you.
I don't believe her, though. Yeah. Get out of there.
There's some inappropriate behavior going on in the men's restroom, and my 8-year-old was just subjected to it.
Does she think they were having sex? Because I don't think that's what was happening. Yep. It's kind of funny that he can, like, scale a bus and jump over it, but, like, then just get hit by a bus. I don't know why that's funny to me, but it is.
Brandon Fayette is here to see you as requested.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how he is in this universe.
I was told you wanted me to bring you the shapeshifter tech.
Been working on this for several weeks. How much longer will it take?
I'm not sure, but I've identified a signal that we might be able to trace.
Okay, so they're not behind it.
Forward me your diagnostic protocols and leave the disc with me. I'll handle the back trace myself.
He doesn't trust him?
I would like to see this through.
Shouldn't have to remind you that I am also a scientist.
Interesting. There's tension between them in this timeline.
All Fringe Division and ancillary personnel are required to withdraw from the area immediately. This investigation is now under the jurisdiction of military command.
Ooh.
As on whose orders?
Walternet.
Why would Secretary Bishop remove us from what is clearly a Fringe case?
Ours is not to question why, ours is just to get the hell out.
World B Lincoln is cuter than World A Lincoln. I mean, it's literally the same guy, just with glasses and dressed differently. I'm aware of that, but I'm just saying.
You're clear on everything, right? What do you need to do?
What does she want him to do? I'm confused. Olivia, why am I sus of you?
I need you and your staff to vacate the lab until further notice. Sergeant Kane, please stand guard at the door. Make sure no one disturbs me.
Is Walternet behind it? Is that why he's being sus of Brandon? Because he doesn't want Brandon to know that he's actually the one behind it?
Got a prisoner here I need to transport to Liberty Island.
I don't have any transport order.
No, you wouldn't. Secretary Bishop wants to keep this one off the books.
I just need your show me.
The ID.
Yeah, about that. I had to jump into the East River to catch this scumbag.
Your handprint will do.
It should be the same, right?
The ferry should be at the pier shortly. Major Lee. I'll go ahead and report your show me lost.
Thanks.
You know, that body at the bus terminal, his face was pretty messed up. I think he might have been a shapeshifter.
She's right.
Well, I guess once the DOD confirms that with the autopsy, Secretary Bishop will let us know.
Unless he doesn't.
Yeah.
There, Olivia said that she believed he was responsible for these new shapeshifters.
Mm-hmm.
You said yourself she's a paranoid who doesn't trust anyone.
Yeah, it doesn't mean she's not right. I mean, think about it. What if the Secretary had us removed from the crime scene so that he could cover up his own involvement?
Now who's paranoid?
Not paranoid if you're right.
Why won't the car start?
Because your show me got... Yeah.
Checkpoint 5, Corp.
Oh no, they're still there.
Agent Lee, I understand somebody there reported my show me lost.
Agent Lee?
No, they're still there. 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 Oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad.
If you worked in it, you must know how to get into it.
Yep.
Why are we talking about this, Lincoln?
Just
Because...
tell me where it's located, Peter.
Oh, I don't believe this.
You're about to ruin the best chance
I didn't come this far to go back empty-handed.
Don't move! Put your hands behind your head.
Ah, shit. They got there fast as fuck.
We can straighten this out. I have to talk to Secretary Bishop.
Who the hell are you?
His son, Peter. His son, Peter.
We've apprehended 2 men who are on their way to you. One is their Fringe Division's Lincoln Lee. The other man, he claims to be Peter Bishop, your son.
Yep.
Son?
Yep. Yep. Talk to him, Peter. I mean, Walter.
You want me to contact the other side?
No. Tell them nothing until you've had a chance to interrogate these men. And keep me informed with what you learn.
Walter, Nick, go talk to him. Go talk to him. Go talk to Peter. And I didn't think it was going to be that easy, but I was hoping that they would at least get there before they were caught, you know?
I get it, Peter. You want to go home, to your people. Well, we are fighting for our people. Whatever these shapeshifters are up to, we have to stop them. Sorry if I thought you wanted that too.
Of course he does, but not at the risk
Not my fight.
of never getting home.
Affirmative, sir. As a matter of fact, I have them in my transport right now. I understand.
What the hell? Excuse me? What the fuck is happening? Yeah.
We lost the transport.
Yeah, follow. It was probably Walternate doing some shit. Unless he's like a shapeshifter. Yeah, there's some shit going on for sure. Who are you and what do you want? I really like Peter's jacket. This is not the time, but just saying.
Your cuffs. Take them off.
Why?
That call you got, was that from Secretary Bishop? He's making a mistake. He doesn't understand why I'm here.
It doesn't matter why you're here. I have my orders.
Come on, Lincoln. Oh, that guy didn't die. Okay. At least he bought us some time.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah. I would run.
I'm doing this my way now.
Okay.
Okay, you let me out. You stay with the transport.
What is their plan here? Surely they're not in there, right?
Out of the vehicle now!
That would be stupid.
On the ground!
Lincoln is, but Peter's not.
So where is he?
I have no idea. I told you he ran.
You and your pal murdered 2 fringe agents.
They didn't, actually.
We came all this way to kill 2 fringe agents. That's brilliant. No wonder you're a detective.
I love Lincoln. Slacking off Lincoln.
Wait, so who on our side would want you dead?
Your boss.
What makes you so sure that it was the secretary on the other end of that call?
Our universe has been infiltrated by shapeshifters from your side, and your defense secretary is behind them.
Yep.
We traced the call that was made to Agent Murphy. If it leads back to Secretary Bishop, you know I'm right. If our division's compromised, why trust us? Because of her? Peter said I could trust you.
He doesn't even know me.
He
Peter
does.
said at the end of the day, you're a good person. You do the right thing.
He knows Olivia 1.0, at least. So where he's going to... Okay. That's Walternate's house, right? Yeah, is that where Peter went? Because he went here... He's been here before in the other timeline. Is he gonna talk to her? Oh no. She pressed a button.
I'm sorry. I'm not here to hurt you.
Have money, just take
You don't understand. I just need to speak with your husband. It's very important.
She recognizes him. Right? Yeah, she can see it in his eyes. No.
And still, I never thought that.
It always gets me.
As soon as I looked into your eyes, I knew. They told me that you died.
And they told you the truth. I'm sorry, Elizabeth. I'm not the Peter that you think I am. I'm from another place.
Yeah.
It's all very complicated. But I have people there that I care about very, very deeply. And I have to get back to them.
That's what got me through it. I told myself that
if another universe exists, and there's got to be more, then
there's a version of you that was
somewhere
okay.
You would grow up and be happy and fall in love. Somewhere you would have a life. Just not here.
That's why I came here. It's why I need to speak to Walter. He's the only person who can help me.
Yeah, of course. If your father knew that you were here, he would do everything he could to help you.
Would he?
When I first crossed over, people who worked for your husband tried to kill me.
What? Why would anyone try
I don't know. But clearly someone thinks that my being here is a threat.
We need to protect you.
Yes. You pressed the button. You pressed the button, remember?
God, I'm sorry. Before I knew it was you, I hit the alarm. Peter, why have you got a gun? Give me the gun. Peter, if you don't give me the gun, they will shoot you.
She's your mom, kind of. Trust her.
I won't let anything happen to you.
I don't think she would.
Okay, don't shoot!
That's him! Hands in the air!
Okay, don't shoot! Don't shoot! Anyone who fires on this man will have my husband to answer to. I need your men to transport us to the Department of Defense. We are going to see my husband.
I think they know better than to touch her. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
I've dreamt about this moment for so many years.
Does he think he's a shapeshifter?
Now you're actually here.
I don't trust it.
Take these restraints off him.
Sir.
Take them off, and then leave us.
I know that you don't want to hear this right now, Secretary Bishop, but I'm not your son.
I know that. How could you be? Would you leave us for a moment, Elizabeth? I'd like to speak to Peter alone. Just a few moments, please, dear.
I don't trust him.
Thank you.
Every version of Elizabeth breaks my heart. Again.
I must say, that was a brilliant performance.
Ah, he knows it too.
I've been monitoring the intelligence feeds from the other universe.
What the
You have a very ill opinion of me.
fuck is that?
Where I'm from, I know you all too well.
Really? What do you know?
For starters, I know you've already tried to have me killed once today.
And why would I do that?
Maybe you see me as a threat.
What does he have in his hand?
So you have come all this way to bring me to justice.
No.
Whatever disagreements there are between this universe and theirs are none of my business. All I want is your help to get me back where I belong.
No, I'm worried.
Your decision to come here must have been difficult.
I didn't really have any other choice.
Like, what does he have left to lose? Except for his fucking life. I'm very stressed.
Sir, Sergeant Kane said you wanted to see me.
This man is from the other side. He believes, among other things, that I am responsible for the shape-shifters that are plaguing the other universe. Is it possible?
I don't see how, sir.
Is Brandon responsible?
You see?
If I may ask.
So he suspected him. That's why.
Not everything is as it seems.
Okay. Makes sense.
You've known about this for so long. Why haven't you done anything?
Done what, exactly?
You have to find the shapeshifters. Expose them for what they are.
And how would you propose I do that?
Well, that device you use seemed to do the trick.
If I had been wrong, this tech would have killed a human being.
Oh, damn. I was gonna say, I wonder if there's
Why are
consequence.
you telling me all of this?
If you're wrong. Does he think you're a shapeshifter?
Because you are the only person I can trust. You have no alliances. I'm telling you this because I need you to deliver a message.
What kind of message?
Is it not your fight?
Exactly, it's not my fight. You're the only person who can help me get back to where I belong.
And I will do everything
If?
in my power to help you get home.
If?
But you must go back to the other side and tell them that I am not their enemy.
Okay.
Whoever is behind this is a threat to us all.
Who is it, though? So it wasn't Brandon. He was just a shapeshifter.
I was wrong about you.
He's not like the other alternate.
You're not the man I thought you were.
Yeah.
You are exactly the man I thought you would be.
Oh, God, why? Why?
Please do this for me, Peter. Help us.
We're just following up on a lead.
No, we're chasing the story of a suspect who may have murdered 2 of our own agents.
What if he's right?
What if he's not?
He is
I
right.
have to tell Broyle something.
What if it's Broyles? You can't trust anyone, you guys.
I take it this is about the trace you ran on Agent Murphy's ear cuff? Agent Farnsworth told me.
Well, it may be nothing, but until we know more, we would like some leeway on this.
Okay. Keep me posted.
Broyles.
Colonel Broyles. They're on their way to you now. Excellent.
Hold on. Hold on. Oh, thank God. Olivia, you should not stand there with your eyes open like that.
Who are you? How did you
This episode is just
stop doing that?
freaking God.
Who
the hell are you?
Observer, Bud, just talk, please.
I have come to tell you something, Olivia.
Okay.
How did you know my name?
He knows everything.
How do you know my...
Is he dying? Is there something wrong with him?
You've been shot?
I came to tell you I have looked at all possible futures, and in every one, the result is the same. You have to die.
Excuse me?
I'm gonna get you to a hospital.
One, what in the Doctor Strange shit was that? 2, no. Okay, sorry, I'm literally trying to process all the shit that they just threw at me at the very end of this episode. Olivia can't die. Unless he means she dies for like 2 seconds and they bring her right back to life. And like, that's what happens. You guys, I have to look up that actor's name because every time I see him in Fringe, I'm just like, "Ah, it's Anderson Dawes." And then I'm like, no, that's his name on Expanse. Like, I always forget his name on Fringe. Stand by, I'll be right back. David Robert Jones. David Robert Jones. David Robert Jones. Okay. I forgot to drink even a single sip of my drink because this episode was like, there was not a second to catch my breath or like breathe. You guys, I think this is one of my favorite episodes of the show so far. The desire to just hit play and watch it again right now it's a lot. I feel like I need like 5 to 7 business days to process what I just saw in this episode. Oh, there was so much, and I know that I'm going to forget certain things that I'm sure that I want to say, but just when so much happens in an episode, and I wrote so little down because I was just too invested in the episode, it's hard to talk about it all. So just because I forget to say something, like, this is kind of for all of my post-episode discussions, I probably still thought about it. And like, usually later when I'm editing, I'm always like, I wanted to talk about that and I forgot to say it. It's frustrating. Anyway, okay, so where to even start with this episode? One, it was very Peter-centric, so I love that. I love that. You guys know that, you know how much I love Peter. Okay, I don't need to say it again. Like, Joshua Jackson, does amazing. Like, you know what's funny is that when I was a kid, sorry, this is a small tangent, so feel free to skip it if you want. But when I was a kid, I loved the Mighty Ducks movie, right? And Joshua Jackson is in that, if you didn't know. Then when I was a teenager, I loved Dawson's Creek, which Joshua Jackson, as if you may not know, was in as well. And then I watched a movie. I remember watching a movie in theaters solely because he was in it. I think I was still a teenager. This was during that same era. It was called Cursed. I think I'm remembering that right. It is a really bad movie. But fun. It's fun. It's fun. Anyway, and now as an adult, I'm watching Fringe, and just, it's funny how certain actors you just love no matter what age you are, right? Anyway, that has nothing to do with anything, so I'm very sorry for going off on that tangent, but I think it's fun. Do you have actors like that? Is anybody else's actor like that Joshua Jackson? Because also, if you have not watched Dawson's Creek and you watch Dawson's Creek now, certain elements did not age well, but if you are not Team Pacey, like, I don't understand you. I'm sorry, who would pick Dawson? Anyway, that's beside the point. To get back to Fringe, where should I even start in this episode? Okay. One, I love how they used our mistrust of Walternate, knowing that we've obviously seen all the episodes of Fringe up to this point, knowing how the end of last season went in regards to Walternate trying to kill Peter. Like, knowing all of that, they kind of used that against us and made us distrustful of Walternate because they're showing us the bits that make him more suspicious. So we think he is behind the shapeshifters, right? And one, I love that when the show uses your biases against you to sort of trick you, right? So I knew it was going to be either Walternate or Brendan, and based off of the way that they did it, I was like, Walternate, you are being evil. And I think that they did that really well. I like the surprise of it. I'm sure some of you probably guessed and are like, duh, it's obviously Brendan. Like when you were watching it for the first time. I love the surprise of it, right? I think when they brought Brendan in the room, that's when I was like, oh, it's Brendan. Like, I'm fairly certain that that's what this is gonna be, like when it's the three of them. But I also really loved the interaction between Peter and Walternate 2.0. I'm just gonna call everybody who they are, but 2.0, because it helps me distinguish in this old cog work of a brain. I loved when Walternate 2.0 and Peter had that exchange after Elizabeth 2.0, which is really like Elizabeth 4.0. Anyway, leaves, and Peter's like, you know what, that was like a good act. And the thing is, I thought the same thing. Like, I think that's what's so brilliant about the way that they did it. They make you think, like, just like Peter, right? You're like, that's a good act. I know you. And then they flip that on its head, and it's like, you don't know this Walternate. Just like Walter on this side, like alt Walter, is different. He's much different than our Walter. Like, our Walter would do everything in his power to help Peter. This Walter, alt Walter, is so damaged and broken by what he did and losing both versions of his son that he can't open himself up emotionally to that pain again. Whereas our Walter succeeded in saving a version of Peter, loved him, he became his son, and therefore he would do every single thing in his power to save him, to help him, to, do whatever he could for him. And so I think that it's really cool how, even though they've shown us throughout this season that Walter is different than our Walter, they knew that we would still have this sort of internal bias against Walternate and carry that on to Walternate 2.0, especially when like alternate Olivia and faux Olivia 2.0, and everybody is kind of like, wait a second, I think that Walternate is behind this. And knowing that the shapeshifters can virtually become whoever, it's just such a fun way that they did it. And yeah, I think I'm rambling. I probably had too much chai tea. This is my second glass, so I'm just gonna drink more and we'll see how it works out. I'm gonna just jump all around in the episode, you guys. I mean, I do that anyway, but it's probably gonna be very, very jumpy in this episode, or this post-episode chit chat. To go off of Walternate 2.0 to Elizabeth 2.0, I almost said Olivia. I love seeing Peter interact with his mom. It breaks my heart. It really hurts me. Like 9 out of 10 times, maybe every time, maybe 10 out of 10 times. But I really like to see him get to have those moments, because even if she's not his mom, she's a version of his mom. And I think that for Peter to have a version of his mom be out there and, you know, touch his face and hug him and care for him it gets me. My heart is forever breaking for her, though. Like every version of her, the original timeline, the one that we know from the show, right? In World A, she couldn't live with the guilt of what her and Walter had done to Peter, but also to his other family. And so we know how that ended. In this timeline of her, she couldn't deal with losing her son. In World B, the original World B, she lost her son. She survived, but then she lived the rest of her life after her son was kidnapped, not knowing where he was or what happened to him. And then Peter did get to go and say hi to her, and they talked and blah, blah, blah. But then he left. So she lost him all over again. And then this version, she lost her son, you know? I don't know. And then seeing him, and then she says, I really loved what she said, that like, let me see if I can find it. I don't remember if I wrote it down or not. I just wrote that my heart always breaks for her. But she said that, you know, she had to believe, knowing that alternate timelines and universes and stuff exist, that there was some version of him that did get to live and did get to grow up and fall in love and be happy. Why does this... Then she gets to meet him, and I think as beautiful as that would be, as amazing as that would be, to know that, like, yes, there is a version of my son that got to grow up and fall in love and be happy. I think that it would be equally devastating to think, like, but why couldn't that have been my version, you know? Like, I just think that Elizabeth has one of the most tragic stories in Fringe, and we don't see her that often, but whenever we do, I'm reminded of just how tragic her story is, and it breaks my heart for her every time. I think that actress, she does too good of a job, okay? Her looking into Peter's eyes, and you know that she recognizes him. Like, imagine you lose your child, and one day an adult comes up to you and it's your child. Like, I don't know why that gets me. Damn it. I don't even have kids. It's just the impact of great storytelling. I think that the actress is very emotive and does a beautiful job. And I think the story is just so touching and impactful that it really just, it gets you in your feels. Please tell me I'm not the only one. I was a little bit disappointed by alternate Olivia in this episode. However, I also understand because Peter is trying to get back to his world, or get his world back. However that's going to work, we don't really know yet, but he's trying to do that. And like he said, he's like, it's not like, your fight is not my fight. And so I can understand her stance being like, look, I want to get you home. Sure. But once you're home, I still have to fix my world. I still have to save my world. I still have to, you know, keep living in this world. So you're seeing it as not your fight, but that is my fight. So I have to fight for it, because if I don't, who will? So looking at it from her perspective, I'm not really disappointed in her. I think just in the moment, a tiny bit, and that's only because our Olivia would, you know, she wouldn't choose anything over Peter. But Peter would choose our Olivia over all of this. So, like, I can't blame her. I can't blame her, you know? Also, can I just give major props to the actor who plays Lincoln? Oh, I don't know his name, but he did such a great job in this episode because, well, one, it was hilarious to see Lincoln slagging off Lincoln. Like, it's so silly. It's you. But, two, he played Lincoln from World A, Alt Lincoln, playing Lincoln from World B with an awkwardness of Lincoln of World A. So, like, that was so good, because even when he was playing World A Lincoln, playing World B Lincoln, you could still tell that it wasn't World B Lincoln, because the actor added that sort of the awkwardness of World A Lincoln. And I just think that that's so great, because they're dressed the same, their hair's the same, like they should be the same, but the swagger was different. And I just think that's a very big, like, props to his acting, because I think it's not easy, to be clear, but when you have like a different wardrobe and a different thing to switch between, so you can like play these different versions of your character, I think that does help. But he had to do it dressed or looking exactly like the character, which I think that he did great, just like Anna Torv in season 3 when she's playing World B Olivia, playing our Olivia, and the mannerisms, and like, even though she looks like our Olivia, we can tell that she's not, because she doesn't fully act like our Olivia, right? And I think that is a very difficult thing to do in acting, and I think that they both nailed it. And so yeah, just have to give props to that. Also, to take it back to Walternate and Peter for a second, the moment where Peter told Walternate 2.0, "You're not the man that I thought you were or would be." I don't remember the exact quote. And then Walternate 2.0 comes back with, like, "You're exactly the man I thought you would be," right? Something like that. And really, like, it gets me. I'm not going to cry again. I'm going to rein it in, suck these tears back in. But that was a beautiful moment. And, yeah. Sorry, I know I've kind of buried the lead, because there was a lot that happened at the end of this episode that I have not talked about yet. I had to build up to it, you guys. My brain was still buffering. Okay, so to sort of get into it, Broyles. One, Broyles has betrayed us, but is it Broyles or is it a shapeshifter Broyles? We don't know. And two, they brought David Robert Jones back, which, again, I think I said in the beginning of the post-episode discussion, will always be Anderson Dawes to me. I'm sorry. If you've seen Expanse, you understand. But they brought him back, and I was not expecting that. Like, he was so long ago. I'm trying to remember. He was in the prison, and then he escaped, and he was doing the machine to try to prove to William Bell because he fired him. Like, it's just crazy to see him back again, and it's been so long, and obviously it's a different iteration of the character, but was not expecting. Also, for Olivia 2.0, World B. Lincoln walking into a trap, so that's stressful. We'll see how that goes, if Peter can save them somehow, because he knows that Walternate 2.0 isn't the bad guy, so then they would know that the bad guy could still be somebody in the Fringe division, you know. Aside from that, in like the same freaking breath that they expected me to like process was the fact that the Observer showed up to talk to Olivia, alternate Olivia, and he's been shot. By who? Is he gonna die? One, who shot him? I'm assuming another Observer, because he didn't do his job and erase Peter from the timeline. So he's like multiple infractions, multiple times has he interfered, when that's literally like the one thing they're not supposed to do, right? And he's done it quite a few times now. So I don't know if it was like that's what happened. I'm hoping he doesn't die, because I really like the Observer and I don't want this to be the last time that we see him. If it is, though, he left us with a freaking Doctor Strange shit of like, I have looked at every possible future, and the only possible way for this to work out is for you to die. Which, one, unless it's for like a split second, and then we just bring her right back, then I'm not okay with that. Two, does this have to do with last season when Olivia had, when she went into her head, right? And then with the whole Bellivia thing. And then at the end of that episode, when they had brought her out and Belle died, and she was telling Peter, like she drew that picture of the guy with the cross thing on his t-shirt and said, this is the guy that's gonna kill me. Does it have to do with all of that? Because who is that guy? Is like, because they did kind of just like, that just dropped, and like, well, they didn't drop it. They literally went to another timeline. So it makes sense that they couldn't come back to it at that exact second. But does this have to do with that? I'm wondering. Obviously don't answer probably, because it's probably spoilers. And I don't actually want to know spoilers, but I'm just curious if like we're going back to that and that's what he means by that. Also, I know that she probably won't, but I really need Alt Olivia to give Peter this information, because it's like different characters have different pieces of information, and I just need them all to share the information so that we can all be on the same page. You know? After all that, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can watch the next episode right now over on Patreon. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can also watch my entire full-length reaction to this episode and every single episode thus far of Fringe over there as well. That will be watch-along style, so you will have to have your own copy of Fringe to watch along with me. Yeah, I might watch this episode again before next week because it was really good and I just want to see it again. Anyway, I hope to see you guys then for more Fringe. Until then, bye guys!